Hello guys, Banok Gaming here. In this video I will show you all the race quest location, how to upgrade all the race in V2 and also show you all the V2 buffs in one Fruit Simulator. Let's go. First is the race quest location. So for all the race quest location you can pretty much see them all around inside this crater in Abazon Lily in C3. Right down here is the Cyborg quest, just next to him is the Mink quest or the Beast People quest, and just right up here is the Oni quest. Also just right next to Oni is the Human quest. Just right down next to him is the Fishman quest. And just right up this building is the Sky People's quest. That's it for all the race quest location. You can pretty much see them all around here. Next is how to upgrade them to V2. To upgrade them, you can either skip the quest using Robux or do the quest. If you're poor like me and choose to do the quest, first you need to pick the race that you want. He will then tell you to kill multiple enemies. For the Cyborg quest you need to kill 10,000 enemies in Hazard Island. For the Mink or Beast People quest you need to also kill 10,000 enemies in Hazard Island. For Oni you need to kill 12,000 any enemies on C3. For Human you need to kill 8,000 any enemies in C3, same as Oni. For Fishman quest you need to kill 3,000 enemies in Fishman Island on C1. And last, the Sky People's quest you need to kill 5,000 enemies in Sky Island on C2. After doing any of all that quest, go back to any guy whom you start the quest with, he will then tell you this. So to do this you need to find the stone cube or the poneglyph. You can find the cube at Fishman Island. I don't know if there's any corresponding cube for any of the race, but I've pretty much searched everything in C1, C2 and C3 and haven't found any cube, except for this one and the cube in Turtle Island. When you get here just go at the back of this boulder and there you will see the cube. Interact with it. After that go back to the guy whom you start the quest with. Interact with him and he will ask you again for another cube. This time you need to go to Turtle Island. When you get here just go straight. When you see this pyramid just turn a little bit to your right, and you will see this tall building, and on top of it is the cube. Interact with it. After that go back to guy whom you start the quest again. This time he will then ask you to bring human essence, or any essence depend on what race quest you did. So to get any race essence first you need Primordial Key. You can get this by killing the new Sea Beast. You can find this Sea Beast by buying the Sea Beast Tracker Game Pass, or just by flying all around C3. And if you're having hard time finding Sea Beast without the Tracker Game Pass, I will show you some of the place I saw them respawn often. First location is just in front of the Hancock boss in Abazon Lily. Also by killing the Sea Beast you can also get the Primordial Essence. Second location just middle of World Prison and Marine Base. Third location just a little bit right on the front of Rose Kingdom. Fourth location, just middle of Rose Kingdom and Turtle Island. Note that this Sea Beast has over 600 billion HP. Also this Sea Beast does not respawn like the regular Sea Beast. You need to stay where it roars for it to respawn. When you're done farming keys go back again to Turtle Island and find the Mad Scientist. You can see him on the tower right side of the Turtle Island. This is where you'll get all your essence. Also the essence drop on this raid is random. So you can either get human essence or any other race essence on this raid. When you have enough essence, go back to the guy where you start the quest, and give him the essence. And voila, you have your race V2. Next I will show all the race buffs. First is the human race. This race gives you 30% stats gain, which is good for stats grinding. 15% EXP, coins, and mastery gain. 30% extra drop chance, which is good if you are farming accessories and weapons. 35% damage to all fighting style, and 50% to Black Leg and Black Leg V2. This race also increased Conqueror Haki damage by 6.1 times to 6.7 times on PvE. Next is the Fishman race. This race gives you 7 times swim speed, 100% damage reduction on water, 50% damage to Fishman style and Fishman style V2. You will also receive 15% less damage in PvE and 5% less in PvP, and it's gonna be doubled, while under 35% HP. Also this race can increase all sorts of damage by 25% if you're on water. Next is the Sky People race. This race gives plus 15 to your sky jumps. Increases sky jump distance by 25%. 70% flight speed, which is good for those fruits who have flight skill, or much better if you have fruit that can fly but it is slow. This race also adds 50% damage to dial style, and charges one observation by 2 seconds instead of 5. It also increases observation dodges by 10%. Next is the Cyborg race. This race takes only 1.5 times damage on water, and has 30% damage reduction in PvE and 5% in PvP. This race also buffs your Cyborg style damage by 50%. And while under 35% HP, this race receives 60% damage reduction in PvE and 10% in PvP. Next is the Mink, or the Beast People race. This race has the innate ability to dodge chance by 25% in PvE and 5% in PvP. This race also gives 30% movement speed, 50% increased damage to electric or Mink style. Also, while under 50% HP, it further increases movement speed by 30% and dash distance by 25%. Also, while under 10% HP, it increases dodge chance to 50% for PvE and 10% for PvP. Also, I don't know if the 50% increased damage to electric also work on Goro and God Weapon. If that's the case, then this is definitely the best combo for Goro and God Weapon. Last race is the Oni race. This race gives 20% buff to any source of damage, and gives 15% less damage received both PvE and PvP. This race also increases Conqueror damage from times 6.1 to times 7 in PvE and times 2 to times 2.5 in PvP. And while under 50% HP, it buffs all damage by 30%. And while under 35% HP, you will receive 30% less damage in PvE and 20% less damage in PvP. So if you're looking for the best PvP race, this in my opinion is the best. So what do you guys think is the best race? Also, if you have questions, just put your comment below and I will try to answer them. Thanks for watching, God bless.